This is the engine bay of a 1969 Plymouth Roadrunner, a real Roadrunner RM23 car, hardtop. It does not have its original engine, but that's okay because right now, instead of being a 383, this guy is a built-up 440, and it is a hypo engine in it. It has power steering. It does not have power brakes, but however, it does have a new dual-stage master cylinder with new stainless steel lines leaving it. Nice, bright set of chrome valve pan covers, ceramic-coated headers, high-temp silicone plug wires, a Mopar dual-plane intake manifold. Has a 750 Hawley double pumper on it at this point in time. It has a Presto light, the original equipment style Presto light distributor that this guy came with the correct tan cap on it, and the vacuum advance still hooked up and functional. I'm sure it has new belts on it. Donnie puts new belts on everything, and probably a newer battery too. Donnie puts new batteries in about everything now. It has a chrome or stainless, I can't really tell, fan shroud with the correct style clutch fan on it with a nice tight clutch on it yet, which is good. 26-inch high-flow Mopar radiator in the front of this guy too, so it does have a nice cooling system on it. The top of the engine doesn't appear to have any leaks whatsoever. Well, of course, there's no oil at all up here. That's impossible. But the front of it, the timing cover, the water pump, valve pan covers, everything appear to be just as nice and tight as can be. There's no indication of any leakage whatsoever. Someone has updated it with a transistorized ignition system on it. And of course, it has a transistor regulator for the alternator. Brand new water reservoir for the windshield washer. These are usually all deteriorated and cracked. They kind of crack apart after some time. Original Roadrunner beep beep horn that comes with the car. Core support doesn't have any indication of ever being disrupted on it. Everything appears to be just as fresh and nice as you'd ever hope to find. Has a auxiliary reservoir for the radiator too. Instead of just dumping it down on the ground, they did put a reservoir in so that it's the overflow reservoir. It's a nice addition to it also. 440 Mopar, this thing's going to make a ton of torque and lots of horsepower. These things were really overachievers. They rated them at 375 from the factory, which was grossly underrated. It was certainly much more than that. It's a great running car. It's a 4-speed. Underneath the hood is just finished the same as it is on top. Really, really nice paint quality. It has an underhood pad to kind of dress it up a little bit. It's an insulator pad that you could get from the factory. Everything on the engine compartment is nice and fresh and clean, including the tag that's on the fender, and it also coincides with the one on the dashboard. So you have a nice engine compartment for this guy. We're going to go around the rest of it and show you what we can. Okay, 69 Plymouth Roadrunner, RM23 car, two-door hardtop. A little bit of a difference from the way they came from the factory. The stripes were put on, a custom striping set up on it. Roadrunner decal in the front here, Roadrunner designation on the front, Plymouth over on this side. Nice hood fitment. You can see that the gap on it up to the cowl area and on the driver's side, just as nice and linear as you'd ever hope to find one. The paint on the car is certainly much better than the driver quality paint job. You know, I don't want to call it show quality, but it's certainly better than it ever was in '69 whenever this car was released by Chrysler Corporation. Some finite pinstriping between the silver and the burgundy paint on the car. Grille is absolutely flawless. I don't see a single marker or an indenture or a scratch or deterioration on the anodized aluminum surface. This is nice and black, just the way it should be. Nice surround. The headlights, your anodized portion of that is nice. Bumper fitment in the front appears to be about as close on as you could ever hope to find. There's no marks on the front bumper either. There's no scuffs or scratches or marks or anything whatsoever. 1969 plate in the front. There's no dings or marks on the front of the bumper either. Really nice dramatic front end on this guy. It has a great look to it, a great finish. It's a nice looking car. Fender mounted turn signals. That was an option that came with the light package option. The side marker lights, nice inset, just the way they should be for 1969. 68 has round ones. The car does have a set of, I quit, that's it. It does have a set of 4 wheel lip moldings on it. Again, we're going to go up here and show you the fit again of this. Look at this. Look at the door fitment. It can't get any nicer than that. Wiper arms and blades. The wiper arms are correct. So are the blades, but the only problem is these are polished stainless and these are argent. So they should be either all polished or all argent. They came actually with argent. VIN plate, nice and fresh and clean with its correct 6-sided rivets that they were installed with. Dash pad, nice and clean. Dash itself were transitions to the windshield. Really nice and fresh looking. Tinted window in the front here also with the sunshade fade. Tinted glass on the sides. Little tiny bit of patina on this wing area, but certainly nothing that would dictate replacement of it. Correct remote style mirror on this side. Wife's whiskers just as fresh as you could get. Nice fitment of the front glass to the quarter glass. Door has a nice deep chrome finish on the handle. And again, look at this door. You can't get it to fit any better than that. The same as the front. Interior has an upgraded interior panel set up on it. It has the wood grain on the dash like a GTX has, and also the door panels also have that. The seating area is done in black, but this is a cloth insert. So you have the cloth inserts where you're actually your seating area in the front and back with a really nice high-end vinyl trim on the outside. Seat belts in the front, seat belts in the back. Beep, beep, horn. I don't see any marks on the wheel, but we'll get a better look once we get inside the car. Aftermarket tack on the steering column, and again, look at the wood grain across the front of the dash here. Really a nice setup. And one thing you have to notice, ta-da, right in the center here, it's a 4-speed car. It's got 3 pedals on it. This guy's a blast to drive. Nice, fresh-looking door sills, inner fenders to the door, just nice and fresh and clean also. Same as the other ones we were showing you, that the door latches and the one on the quarter panel the same way, real nice and fresh, clean looking, molded armrests. Nice fitment of the door, front and back, nice gap. Let's see here. Back glass, looking down through it, the hat rack area still has the speaker perforations in it. I don't know if it has any aftermarket speakers under it or not. We'll see that once we get in the trunk. Normally these things have some deterioration back here. This car has absolutely none. Very nicely finished car, nice fit finish. Down the side of this thing is just as nice and fresh and looking a car as you could ever hope to find. Forgot to mention, it does have a set of BFG radial TA tires, a huge set on the back, and a little smaller set on the front, but they're on a set of polished or chromed torque thrust style wheels. A nice dramatic look to this car and a great addition to it. It does have a rocker panel molding also that coincides with the wheel arches. Really a great looking car. Okay, going around the rear section of the car, look at the gap on this deck lid. It's the same as the hood, just absolute precise fitment. Hearst designation for the shifter that's on the center console there, center area of the car. No patina whatsoever on this. Look at that, both sides. Normally these have some wear, some patina on the chrome. This one has absolutely none. Rear bumper the same as the front, just as nice and fresh a car as you could ever hope to find chrome-wise. Tips out the back are the rectangular style tips that came as an option on these vehicles. Really great addition to the car. Backup lights in the back of the bumper, nice and fresh looking too. Lenses aren't yellowed or anything. Trunk area. Wow, somebody's carpeted the entire trunk area in this thing. I'm not going to tear it up, but the trunk area in the car has been padded and carpeted. You can see everything on this car is really fresh and clean. All the seals, the rubbers on the doors and the trunk area have been replaced and nice and fresh and resilient. The underside and all your latches. Notice how the latches in the doors and even on the back, normally these things are oversprayed. These are not. Someone's taken a lot of care to assemble this car in the condition that it is at this point. Very nice looking car, very nice. Okay, down the passenger side, Same thing, the side marker light on this one, just didn't mention that one, but it's precise also. A nice fitment. Back of the windows the same as the other side, just as clean and crisp as can be. The wheel arch moldings on both this side and the other side are absolutely undisrupted. Forgot to mention on the other side the drip rail. There's no marks or anything, no broom handles fell against it or anything. The white whiskers also just as fresh and clean, and look at this window fitment again, same as the other side. Door gap, look, right on, spot on. And Devin's going to give you a whole slew of photos of this car, inside and outside, so you'll be able to see everything. Kind of hard to do here inside the building, you know, with minimal lighting, but he's going to show you every aspect of this car. Seal molding on this side is the same as it was on the other, and retractable belts, I like that idea, that's nice. Brake closure, nice fitment. Same as the other side, a little tiny bit of patina. Look at the fitment. As straight and nice as you can possibly get. Mopar correct based antenna on it. And turn signal on the right-hand side up front here. And we're back where we started again. It's an RM23 car. It's a 69 Plymouth Roadrunner. That's the way it started life, and that's the way it is right now, with the exception of being a 440, a built 440. Mild build on it. This thing isn't so overly cammed that you can't drive it or anything. It's a good street drivable car with tons of torque and horsepower. It's a 440. It has all the good pieces that you'd want to add to one. It's got a set of ceramic headers on it. It's got a dual plane intake manifold, a 750 Holley double pump carburetor. It's got really great condition paint, fit. You've just seen us go around it and show you the fitment of all the panels and all the brake trim on the car too, the chrome and all the pieces that are associated with accents on this car. It's as nice a one as you're going to find, especially for the money that we're going to ask for this guy. And great running car. We did have the opportunity to drive it already, but we are going to show you a video of it in action. So take a look at it. It's here at Hanksters in Daytona Beach, and if you can, run down and take a look at this thing, fly down, whatever you need to do so that you can see it in person. But if not, Devin's going to have a slew of still photos and videos on the website, Hanksters, Daytona Beach, Florida. This is the undercarriage of our 1969 Plymouth Roadrunner, cherry red with some silver stripes on the hood. Really great looking car. Real heavy duty sway bar in the front, new sway bar bushings, new sway bar links on the end. Tie rod ends are new, you can see that. No leaks whatsoever on the oil pan. There's absolutely none. Needed tightened up a little bit apparently, and that's all that we had to do to it, but it's not leaking. No leaks on the engine, the bell housing area, or the transmission. Has a set of long tube ceramic coated headers on it, and there is a shield over the starter. It looks like a conventional starter, but it does have a heat shield on it so that it's not subjected to all the heat from the headers. It does have the pan covering the flywheel area on it, clutch area. The headers are, like I said, ceramic coated. They're a long tube design, 3-inch collector going into a 2.5-inch primary pipe. The floor pans in the front and going back through the car are all absolutely as new. There's no indication that there's any trauma whatsoever to them through the years. The splatter undercoating is still inside the fender wells in front of this car and in the front part of the fenders themselves. Where the floorboards transition onto the rocker panels, you can see the pinch welds are still evident, and there's no indication of any rust or deterioration. Original brake lines still intact and functional. No need for replacement. Parking brakes still hooked up and functional also. 4-speed shifter on it. Hurst linkage. No leaks on the tail shaft, the speedometer drive, the transmission, the bell housing area, or the engine at this time. Disc brakes in the front. New replacement shocks in the front. New hardware on the brakes themselves. Backing plates are brand new on it. The discs themselves have a nice thickness to them. You can see that there's no wear whatsoever on them. New U-joint on this drive shaft. Going back through the car, the 2.5-inch pipes terminate into two Flowmaster style mufflers. It Has a new U-joint in the back, 8 3/4 heavy-duty Mopar rear end, 355 ratio. I know that. Donnie did check that. New shocks in the back. I believe they're Gabriel's, but I'm not really sure. But they are gas shock design in the back, and they are absolutely brand new. 2 1/4-inch pipes terminating out of the Flowmaster style mufflers. New brake line here. The rubber hose that comes off the original brake line goes on to transitional piece is a new rubber hose, and again the brake system itself, the parking brake, everything is just as nice and fresh as can be and functional. Nice curvature to the rear springs, a real nice curvature. There's a set of traction bars on this car. I have no idea why. They're not needed on a Mopar. It's not a Chevy. Drum brakes in the back, heavy duty to coincide with the discs in the front. And again, nice curvature to the springs. You can't find a single thing in the rear axle of this car that has an issue. Even the torque boxes in the front here, there's no deterioration whatsoever. No marks on the front subframes you can see from being jacked up through the years. There are none. And the same with the rear. I can't find a single mark from where it's been jacked up through the years. I'm going to call it a replacement gas tank. I think it's just a conventional steel gas tank. New straps, new hardware. Subframes where they transition up over and go to the tail end of the car, to the square piece of tie-in structural piece in the back. There's no pull marks on it absolutely anywhere. The trunk floor itself is just as flat and fresh and new as it was the day it was made. The transitional pieces down, your drop downs in the quarter panels still have their structural bracing in them. Everything is as it was when it was new in 1969. Conventional tips, correct rectangular that would have come on this car in '69. There's absolutely nothing underneath this car I can give you a negative on. Absolutely nothing. Fresh round of rubber, huge tires in the back. Donnie will have the size on the description for you, but the tires in the back are a huge set of BFGs, I believe, and the same thing with the front. They're brand new also. Great looking undercarriage of this car. I don't see a single thing, not a single thing that you can point a finger at. Absolutely nothing. Our floor pans are nice. There's no indentures on the subframes. No leaks on the entire driveline. The sides of the engine are nice and clear and clean. At this point, there are no leaks, but it's a muscle car. If there aren't this year, don't worry. Next year or the year after, you'll find a few drips on the floor. Take a look at this guy. It's at Hangsters in Daytona Beach. Okay, this is the working part of a 1969 Plymouth Roadrunner. Burgundy car, really nice looking car. Has the original Roadrunner hood on it, and the original Roadrunner beep beep horn with it also. Remote control mirror on the outside. Aftermarket radio, and I'm sure it does work. Devin will have to figure out how to make it work, but you can see there's numbers on it, so when it comes to radios, I don't know, but it will work. Wipers functioning as they should. Tachometer working as it should. Has a autometer tach on it. It works as it should. Gasoline gauge working. Jeff gave us a little over a quarter tank. Alternator functioning as it should. Temperature just coming up on the gauge here. Turn signal left working over here. And turn signal right working over here. Everything in this car works as it should. We're going to go for a little ride here and see what we can show you how it runs. Goes down the road straight, very, very nice. There, goes down the road straight, no hands. There's nobody behind us, so we'll try brakes. Oh, no hands straight. Brakes, no hands. Still no hands, and stock just as fresh and nice as could be. Straight running car, temperature up where it should be, just about a quarter of the way up the gauge. Everything working as it should. It's a nice running car. Remote mirror works the way it should. Everything on this car is nice. The steering on it is very, very precise. Nice precise steering on it. But the one thing we didn't check, outside turn signals. The left one is functioning. Fender fender mounted ones, and the right one is also functioning. So you got your fender mounted turn signals, they're functioning also. Give this guy a little shot here, you can hear what it sounds like. There's a lot of cars out here today. Nice running car, real smooth, nice positive clutch in it. The shifter is very, very tight and precise. I'm amazed at the steering. Usually power steering doesn't have a lot of resolution, but this guy does. I mean, if you move it a half an inch, it goes in that direction. So it's very, very, very well done car. It goes down the road straight as an arrow, drives straight, stops straight, does everything it's supposed to. It's a great running 69